All right, and we are back. I know you guys were all looking forward to a hand against Kit Kat and against Dart, but unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, Darts will be taking this game, which means Dart is going to be up against Just Sayin, his very good friend from the qualifiers. So that should prove to be a very, very interesting match.
Take a look at what's happened today. We're going to recap a little bit. Kalento, we just saw him fall to Faramir earlier on. Strifecrow able to take his match out over Nyria. Backspace, of course, beating the other open bracket qualifier, Elefante. Penny actually able to pick up his win over Alchemist, and Ecop taking out one of his good friends and playtest partners, Blackout.
Pretty cool to see.
Yeah, really looking forward to this match here between D2 and Chakki. This is sort of a rematch again from Hammerstein in New York at Stage 2 of BlizzCon, where D2 knocked Chakki out of the tournament, took away his potential BlizzCon seed from that. And
D2 ended up at BlizzCon.
Yeah, and he actually made top 4 at that event too. But Chakki, a very consistent player. He's put up some phenomenal performances and a lot of Open Cups that he's played. Has been one of the most consistent players in Hearthstone to date. You haven't seen him at a ton of tournaments, but this guy just took one last season, number 1 on NA last season on the ladder. That's where his finish was, and just been a very consistent and strong player.
Do either of you have a favorite for this round then?
I think you're leaning Chakki.
Well, I practice a lot with Chakki, so anyone I practice with, I got to pick that person.
Yeah.
Be up there long. I don't want to be like, well, I practice.
Well, we know how it turned out with 6-0, and you did some practice with him. So.
Well, he just beats me up a lot in practice more so than anything else.
Gotcha. So make sure you practice with Admirable if you want to get anywhere here.
But don't beat me in practice. That's how you don't get anywhere. Yeah.
Apparently. But I mean, I think it really could go either way. You're talking about someone who finished top 4 at BlizzCon against a number 1 North American seed from the ladder and everything. So it's 2 very, very strong players.
We have D2 and Chakki.
So 2 Hellfire, Shadowflame, and Ragnaros for D2. Pretty
Innervate Shade.
Pretty poor opening hand, and Chakki on the other side of the board. He's got access to turn 1 Shade, but he's also got Sludge Belcher and Keeper of the Grove in here.
I like Innervate Shade a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Getting it built up here. I mean, especially you get it out early, and it starts to really stack up and stuff. And it's it can kind of get pretty tricky to deal with.
Innervate here in this spot is effectively +2/+2.
Yep.
And also can potentially smooth out his curve if he drew some more 3-drops.
Mm-hmm. He's going to go for it. The Innervate Shade is going to be coming down there. Funny how the animations go sometimes. You see the Innervate come up, the end turn go out, and then the Shade comes down, and I'm just like, ugh!
Big Game Hunter picked up, and a Molten Giant. So that Molten Giant, in the Druid matchup traditionally doesn't really do too much because Savage Horde
is usually the combo.
It's usually the big punch used to end the game here, and not a lot of action from Chakki's side of the board, going forward from here, but just looking at these hands straight away, I think that D2's draw is actually so poor that you got to give Chakki a pretty big advantage.
Yeah. Now, the question to me is, does he unstealth it here and just start poking away?
Well, Dark Bomb is certainly something he's going to consider. So, there's also Iron Beak out, and at the point he's invested an Innervate into this, I imagine he probably doesn't want to be doing that. Second Molten Giant, Iron Beak Owl. There's no action available in D2's hand right now.
Oh my god, and he already has the combo. He has the combo and he has a Shade.
Yep.
And at that point, it's you can almost just leave it in stealth and all the way to turn 9.
It's a suspended minion basically at this point, and when you choose to bring it out is when you choose to bring it out. He doesn't want to put his opponent deep into Molten Giant range and allow him to get a big swing turn. So I don't expect him to be too terribly aggressive with everything.
If he holds onto the coin as well, potentially turn a Savage Roar, Force of Nature, and just games that over. If you don't have a ton up at that point.
Yeah. He picks up a Mortal Coil, another dead card.
His hand, man.
He might actually just have to... if he Hellfires here, he's going to take a lot of damage, but he could Hellfire the Shade away next turn after that. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is if he plays Hellfire, he sends Chakki the message that he probably has something like another Hellfire in his hand.
It's a pretty gross turn,
How much damage are you willing to pay? But you do have 2 Molten Giants. Maybe this is sort of the risk you have to take. D2 actually going to go with that too. So Chakki now... this Shade may have actually ended up doing nothing this game.
Well, at the same time, you can drop a Yeti, you can go face, you put him at 16, you have Swipe, and you have your combo, and you have Keeper as well for Silence. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle here to be able to finish him off.
Wow.
I think he goes face, knowing that it's probably going to die next.
So let me propose this scenario. This is really deep. So say he attacks for 5 with the Shade. His opponent's 16. Hellfire comes out. He goes to 13. Okay, well, I'll stop speculating right there because the scenario didn't happen. It was really deep. Let's just ignore that one. But, he's got to commit to a second Hellfire here, right?
Yep, has to. I think it wouldn't really make sense to do the first one at all if you weren't going to do the second one. But I mean, the thing is, it's like knowing that he has to pretty much be going for that. I just don't understand why you wouldn't attack there.
He doesn't want to put him too low, is why.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like he's going.
And he picks up Big Game Hunter right afterwards.
Probably just gonna be a Belcher then. I mean, I guess he still just doesn't really have to attack. He's gonna now. Interesting that he decides to attack this turn.
Well, the Big Game Hunter really influences that. Yeah. I mean, because say D2 had one Molten Giant and then Sunfree Protector here.
Still has no taunts. DTwo really has had a pretty crap hand. Can be able to Dark Bomb off the Yeti though. Big Game Hunter coming out here, and I mean, that means he's only 2 turns away from the combo.
Yep. If he plays Big Game Hunter here, I would a lot of times expect him to not attack.
What do you think about just charging and going face? Do you think there's any world in which he does that? I mean, you'd be putting him to 7 HP, you have a swipe, you have a keeper, you have combo in hand.
I don't think so, and the only reason I don't is because he's got Big Game Hunter. It's if he didn't have Big Game Hunter, that's another story, but...
I think it just has to be the BGH and you don't think he attacks?
I mean, what world are we living in where he doesn't use the Big Game Hunter here?
Well, I was thinking about it. I mean, he has so much face damage available. I guess mostly probably what he's thinking about is just if he attacks afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't attack, he taps himself. Let's see, what is he going to do? He can tap himself to spell, so he is going to attack. All right, so it's going to be 2 free Molten Giants. The key thing here is, does he draw a taunt? He needs a taunt. Doesn't draw a taunt. Does he tap for a taunt?
Does he Shadow Flame?
Yeah. Either way, he's looking pretty dead right now without a taunt. He needs to get a taunt here pretty soon. I mean, even if he Shadow Flames this off, then I mean, there's still the 1/2, and he can charge Savage Roar with the coin, right?
Yeah. So he's got to play Earth and Ring Farseer as well.
Yeah. Silence.
Oh, he can silence
it. That works too. But it depends on the draw as well. Okay, so let's look at the position here. He needs 10 points of damage. 1 mana away. Oh, that's it.
Oh my
Innervate
gosh.
off the top.
And
Are you
picks
kidding
up
me?
Innervate and ends the game immediately.
Oh,
D2's
man.
hand not very strong whatsoever in this opening stage.
He never drew a taunt the whole game, and he has probably at least 6 taunts in there. I mean, he has the 2 Sludge Belchers, the two activators of each kind. I'm imagining, it's like a pretty low chance to not draw that.
Wow. Unbelievable start. We're just... How often do you see a game where there's a turn 1 Innervate Shade? It gets Hellfire. It lives. It doesn't attack and gets Hellfired again.
And the game ends on turn 7.
The game ends on turn 7 with no minions on the board.
What's the nature, though? Savage Roar, what a powerful combo.
I mean, it's like you're talking about just brutal. I mean, he had nothing going on till like turn 6 or something. His turn 4 and his turn 5 were both Hellfire.
Yeah.
And those are the first 2 cards he played. That's just gross.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those spots where, like you said, I mean, cards do decide games sometimes. This was a marquee example of that.
Well, it's going to be Paladin, so we can hop on in and
let's
find
get in.
out. Oh my god, look at that opening hand. Zombie Chow, Knife Juggler, Muster for Battle, into the True Silver. I mean, we talked about injustice with hands last time, so I think that the Hearthstone gods have blessed D2 this game, man.
You know what goes around
Another Knife Juggler.
Yep. What goes around comes around.
Do you coin Knife Juggler?
No,
Knife Juggler, Muster for Battle? That's what you do, man. That's what you don't care.
100%.
I don't care if it's good.
Ignore the math.
I don't care if it's good.
You just want to get 6 juggles.
Yeah, you want 6 juggles. The rest does not matter. So it's going to be an Innervate. Oh, God.
Innervate into Chill and Yeti. So.
Oh, man. Chakki. Chakki, please.
Already spelling a little bit of bad news here. D2 picks up Aldor Peacekeeper, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what better answer is there to turn 1 Yeti?
Well, there's the double Knife Juggler Muster for Battle. Yeah. But, of course, I'm going to make the smart play here. We shall see what the follow-up is going to be. We're just trying to get in to be able to spectate Chakki this game. Hopefully we'll notice that we're not in there pretty quick and give us an invite so we can hop on in. We'll just be watching from D2's perspective in the meantime. BGH as the draw. I think you could just drop a juggler here. I mean, It's not the best because the thing is it can get cleaned up so easily by the Yeti and the hero power.
It's tough to say, honestly.
Yeah. At the same time, you don't really want to muster before, without that down.
Especially not with the threat of swipe there.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely thinking about it because he just doesn't want to just give away a juggler, but I feel like you have to just kind of fight for the board. Okay. All right, so Chakki, gonna be thinking it through. Hopefully we will find out what he has here pretty soon. It's gonna be a keeper, so very nice response, honestly, for him. Gives him the ability to kind of fight for the board a bit there, denies the muster turn, but at the same time, True Solar deals with this very well.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly one of the better plays you could have on a board like this.
Mm-hmm. And he does have the turn next turn with Knife Juggler and Muster for Battle if he does want to go for
Or he's got Lothar.
Yep, Lothar would be very nice as well. I mean, do you think you want to save Lothar for when you have the Muster for Battle out there trying to protect those one drops?
It's tough to say one way or the other. If they're going to live for a turn, your opponent probably doesn't have something like Swipe.
Mm-hmm.
I think something else that's going to go through his mind when he chooses to play Lothar is, does he have a better option available? Does he have close to an equal option available? And does he need to save this for a turn where he can stave off combo and restabilize?
True. All things to think about here. Looks like it is going to be the Zombie Chow finally biting the dust here, but it's got some work done this game.
Aldo and Peacekeeper got a lot of work done.
No kidding. It's kind of appealing to juggle here, man, with the 1 HP thing there.
Just go for it.
Yeah. If you're going to do it, you're just going to go face with the weapon, I guess. It's going to be the Litheb, though. Making the smarter play.
Just a 5-mana 5/5. What a good card.
It is good,
Yep.
yeah.
You know it's not going to get wrathed or swiped or anything here. You just feel good.
So, ouch,
Bomb Lobber comes in.
Oh my god. That is some value, man.
Wow.
The Yeti gets his revenge. The revenge of the Yeti.
I said it wasn't going to die, but Bomb Lobber is one of the ways to kill it. Yeah.
And it definitely a really strong play there.
Yeah, pretty strong initiative over to D2 so far, though.
Yeah, unfortunately Chakki's on busy, I think, so we can't actually contact him to get in there. But, yeah, I mean, he does have the 5/4 body down on the board. And, it's hard to tell. Like, really the game is kind of in anyone's hand right now, and we don't know what Chakki has, so it's like he could be in a pretty good spot, but he could kind of have a pretty dead hand here, too.
All right, well, we're finally going to get in and get a peek at his hand and see what's going on here.
Perfect.
I feel like if Ancient Allure was in that hand, he would have played it already.
Yeah, so do I.
Yep. So there's our glimpse at it.
Oh my god, and he already has the combo. He has a swipe, he has Scenarius.
Where shall I strike?
Shooting charge just goes straight for the face, too.
Okay.
Trying to press his opponent down to the 14 range so he can get a good turn off. 2 muster.
What do you think about just juggle Muster for Battle and then the other token? Because there's a pretty decent chance that you could get like 3 in there, or do you think you just trade and then do it?
Well, 3, so there's a 50% chance.
You have 4. You have 4. I mean, it's like not like out of this world. I mean, if you hit 3, then you can finish it off with a weapon. He's going to go for it. We'll see how the juggles lay. 0 for 1.
First one's bad. And now you want the rest of them to go for face.
Yeah.
So, of course, 2 of them will naturally hit.
Well, only 1, so he does the smart thing. He cleans it up first, and then he's going to be able to put the rest of face. So, I mean, going into turn 8 here, there's a swipe there available.
Yeah. Good swipe turn, of course.
Now, do you think you swipe the face and take the 3 damage? I kind of like that more.
Well, I think
Finishing
you would
off
have
the
before,
hero power?
but you picked up this Shade Naxxramas, so I think you want to get that developed.
Okay.
If Shade Naxxramas gets consecrated here too, which is something you're totally fine with, then you get a clean Scenarius turn. Mm-hmm. So I think Shade Naxxramas is something that potentially can get consecrated as well.
He's going to swipe the face, though.
Wow.
He's going to swipe the face, use the hero power. I can respect this. I mean, getting him down to 18 HP, the combo sitting there, and it definitely just kind of makes your opponent very nervous, I think.
Yeah, anytime you get swiped to the face, it certainly sends a pretty big message.
I mean, you can, with one swipe down, Shredder and Muster for battle, not so bad here. I think it's just going to be the second Muster for battle and the Shredder just kind of trying to develop this board and hope that you can get that Quartermaster in your hand here pretty soon and start getting some work done. Because I mean, if you get a Quartermaster in there, you have a shot to get some work done for sure. Do you think it's just a Scenarios turn? Kind of just feels like that to me. And there's also the potential to silence up the Shredder, but I just don't really like that play. I think it's just got to be Scenarios taunts. Yeah.
All right, so this draw from D2 actually really important because
double consecrate.
He's falling a little bit behind in terms of number of cards, and he's also getting really close to that combo point. And like you said, swipe to face oftentimes sends a really big signal. So
I almost feel like he has to double consecrate and kill the Scenarios.
Well, he can clear out the scenario. He can just use his 1/1s if he wants to as well. So he doesn't have to commit 2 consecrations here.
I think it's just like he's looking, where does he win? And I guess it just depends if he's valuing the chance of getting the Quartermaster out there.
Getting scavenging hyena, not the best.
No. So he is going to trade him in.
Now here's a spot where it's really interesting. Do you think he's worried about something like Ragnaros here, or do you think he should play this big game hunter?
I don't know. I feel like at this point you're in a pretty bad spot, and I think you should just play it. But it's easy to argue one way or the other. Oh my god, he's double combo now. He could just go for it.
He could also just fortify.
He could also just keeper and force of nature.
Yeah.
What do you feel about just keeper the 2/2, and then just 6 damage to the face, and then you have your full combo for next turn?
I'm still fine with just playing keeper, picking up the 2/2, playing shade, and then hero powering as well. I mean, if the keeper sticks around, you still have 14 points of damage.
Yep.
And then plus 4 more because the Savage Roar is buffing up the keeper of the Grove. So.
And the shade as well would be down.
Yeah. So I mean, we would see another consecrate here from D2, but he's going to be losing a pretty significant portion of his board. He's going to be taking 2 more damage.
If he does the Force of Nature, he is lethal as well. Though I mean, both ways are pretty. I think pretty much going to be.
Wow. So a really strong start here from D2 has been really diffused at this point.
I mean, his last couple cards he's had, it's like a big game hunter, a couple consecrates. It just really has trailed off here. And now an Ironbeak Owl, not really what he wants at all.
This is what you were mentioning earlier too. So some of those tech cards.
Yeah.
If you draw them at the wrong times, it can really muck your draws up.
Completely.
I think he's pretty much going to be forced to play this big game hunter here at this point. If he'd have played this last turn, it's 2 less damage he would have had to take as well. But I think you're almost willing to pay 2 life to get a 4/2 on the board.
Oh,
swipe. So I mean, I imagine this has got to be the turn where you're pretty willing to commit a significant portion of your board.
Yeah, I mean, with your opponent having 1 card in hand as well, like what are the chances that he actually has like a lay on hands or something to answer it? I just don't think it's there.
Something that's really important too is I think now's the time that you want to actually get into the attack damage instead of the swipe damage. And the reason is because if your opponent draws like Sludge Belcher or like Cog Hammer or something like that, it can stop the Force of Nature from getting through.
So you think full combo here instead of just swipe and Force of Nature?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, and it is going to be the full combo. Question is, does he kill that 4/2? I don't think he's going to. I think he's just going all face and then has that swipe to finish things off.
Down to 2. D2 needs something.
He's got to draw like a lay on hands or something.
Yeah, he's got to have like lay on hands, Guardian of Kings, something along those lines.
It's not
Quartermaster's not going to do it, and Chakki's going to claim game 2 with Druid once again with Force of Nature and Savage Roar dealing so much damage. It was just too much to handle at that point. What went wrong for D2 that game? Was it really just a sequence of draws that went wrong?
I feel like it was. I mean, what plays could he have really done differently? He pretty much played the cards as he got them. I didn't really think there was like a lot of options there. I mean, the first swipe was key, like wiped out the Muster for battle. Like he had a really good opening hand, but it just felt like his first 3 or 4 turns were great, and then after that, I mean, it was like big game hunter, double consecrate, Ironbeak Owl. Then he draws his Quartermaster after he doesn't have his Muster anymore. So it's like it just felt like a couple of dead draws in a row, coupled with the fact that Chakki had a lot going for him that game. He drew both swipes. He had a really good hand both games.
At the same token, though, he didn't make a lot of use out of Innervate Shade. He didn't make very much use out of Innervate Yeti either. The Bomb Lobber really pulling a lot of weight. I think that game. That turned the whole game. That Loatheb would have changed the way the entire game went if that Bomb Lobber was there.
Completely. I mean, like you were talking about, there's really no way for him to answer this, and the Bomb Lobber comes down, and the Yeti, the 1/1 Yeti, was able to be the hero man, finish him off.
That's 2 different games that Bomb Lobber's kind of shown up and saved the day there. Let's get into the 3rd game.
Alrighty, so it is going to be the Control Warrior. Looks like as the final chance here for D2. He's up against the wall here, does not want to get swept out. We have seen one reverse sweep here. Colento getting reverse swept by the handlock. Is it D2's turn here against Chakki to pull it off?
Well, this is a matchup where a lot of people think is not very favorable for Warrior, but I think Shield Maiden has really changed a lot of that because, in addition to getting the 5 extra health, you also have another 5/5 body. So those two things coupled together makes all the difference, even if it's just something that's small.
I don't think it is that small though either. It's very significant, like you're talking about. It's like you really need to be able to fight for control of the board against Druid, and it really does give you a lot of options to do so.
No innervate this time from Chakki, but still a pretty good hand.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, Bomb Lover. Yeah, definitely has some options here. It'll be interesting to see, if he wants to just wrap this up here. He could also coin Silence and just deny any draw, and it looks like that's going to be the option here.
Yep. I think it's pretty solid play. You don't want Cruel Taskmaster shenanigans. You don't want Whirlwind to be. You don't want Whirlwind Execute to come out on your Chillwind Yeti. And of course, Chakki gets the bad news. Second Acolyte of Pain, but he does have a way to start diffusing this situation.
And no activators just yet as well, so it's definitely not the end of the world. It does have a Wrath. He could just, do you want to Wrath it to make sure he doesn't get that second draw, or are you just feeling like you'd rather develop the Yeti here?
I think that if, in the same vein that you played around last time, you don't want to get Whirlwind executed.
Yeah.
You probably do something similar to this. So whether he wants to use Swipe or Wrath and Hero Power, we're going to have to see about that. I think I favor Swipe just because of the flexibility that Wrath is going to provide to you.
Yeah, with the card draw available as well.
Yeah. Or just even like a 2-mana response to something. It can end up being a pretty big deal. Not a super strong turn here from D2. Turn 5, ideally you want like a weapon or a Sludge Belcher or something like that. But
yeah, hasn't had any weapons, unfortunately, for him in his early hand here.
Well, maybe he didn't want Sludge Belcher.
With the Black Knight, yeah. I think that's fair to say.
Yep.
The Bomb Lover seems like a pretty nice answer here.
Yeah. I think this is, I don't really see like you getting a much better spot for Bomb Lover.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'm okay with charging Druid of the Claw here as well.
If you were to do that, would you have charged face or just charged into
I think you can kill an Armorsmith in that position. Yeah, so this is the turn that he wanted for Wrath, so he's going to be able to use Wrath and develop his Yeti here, trading in his Keeper of the Grove. So, this is, again, pretty much exactly the turn that he was looking for when he chose to use Swipe, was anticipating a turn like this one happening.
D2 really unfortunate for him that he hasn't had any of these weapons available to just trying to combat this early stuff. And he's actually just going to decide to all go face.
So he wants to shred this armor out, eliminate the possibility of a Shield Slam.
I think it's just going to be a Dr. Boom turn, though. Yeah, I like Dr. Boom a lot here, and I think you can also just trade.
Yeah. Well, second Swipe would be an okay pickup here, but
no kidding.
A lot of work
but
to do elsewhere.
as is, he does have Big Game Hunter, so he has the answer. The question is, does he want to use that this early? He's thinking about just trading into the bombs first. How do you feel about that?
I think I like trading into the bombs first. It gives the most chance for it to go to your face instead. Oh, it looks like he's just going to go for face instead. Okay. Well, not quite. -4 to the dome. And he's pretty happy about that one.
I think we've got to see BGH. I guess he may actually be drawing off this, so could be a draw, hero power, and then the BGH. And I think that's looking like what it's going to be.
Dr. Boom.
Yeah. It just works in so many decks, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's really like pretty darn good in everything. We'll see this one where that one goes. Ooh.
Doesn't take out the Bomb Lover quite, and then Big Game Hunter. Another big presence from Chakki.
Yeah, Chakki has really had a lot going his way so far this game.
Gosh, and what do you do here for your D2? It's like...
you have Whirlwind, Cruel Task.
Do you want to Armor of Shield Slam a 2-1, though?
I don't know. I feel like maybe you just leave the 2-1.
Yep.
I think you maybe just Whirlwind, Cruel Task, the 4/2, and you just armor up and just say whatever, and you can trade. Because I feel like it's like you've had such a bad start that you can't really just throw away like a Shield Slam on something that's that that week.
That unimportant.
Yeah. You need to have like a big value win, like to turn the game around. You need to have that shield block, shield slam, the shield main shield slam.
Out of the way, and Chakki's going to have just an open turn to actually use Dr. Boom.
Yeah, but I don't think it was an incorrect play. Given what we're looking at from his side of things. Potentially doesn't play Dr. Boom, but I think it's just anytime the game is like slow like this, Dr. Boom is so good. It's something that's so tough to answer. The big game hunter is there, so he does have that available for him, but still, not a single weapon drawn here by D2 yet this game. Could be Dr. Boom to come down. And we'll see what the draw is. Whirlwind would be nice for him. Fiery War Axe.
Not too shabby still. Yeah.
I'm not too unhappy about that. I think you just take out one of the bombs, then you BGH.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that your BGH isn't threatened by a bomb here.
Yeah.
It still basically is this next turn, but
it's
make him do the work.
It's 50-50 as well. It's instead of having a much higher chance of the additional bomb there. So a pretty nice answer, honestly, overall. And finally does get one of those weapons. We may just see, the wild growths are going to be basically just card draws from now on out. Next turn he can just decide to go for that. And Keeper answers the BGH very nicely. The one thing is both of them are gone, though, so he's not going to have a silence for Sylvanas, which could be something that matters later on.
Gets to protect his Boombot. Now the Boombot's getting real value. One to the face.
Oh, yeah. The money shot right there.
That's when you know you're in big trouble.
Oh, so here's the shield block, and this is the stuff he was looking for. So he does have his shield block, shield slam answer. He could silence shield block, shield slam. I would quite like that. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a really strong line. The problem with using the silence here, though, is that again the Boombot is
Boombot can answer.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if you really want to deal with the ooze afterwards. I mean, the thing is, you could.
I don't think there's a way to protect your owl this turn.
No, neither do I. So I think that is probably the right play. At the same time, it's like, although D2 did have such a slow start, we're on turn 10. He's still at 26 HP.
Yeah.
It's not looking like the end of the world right now. 50-50, let's see. Wants to hit his face for sure. It's not going. It's going to be Rag.
Wow.
So this is really just trying to turn up the heat, just hoping his opponent does not have the answer. Not what he wanted to take out there. But really, there is no answer just yet. So, I mean, I'm guessing it's just going to be an Ancient Lore for the card draw, but still, it's like, then that gives Ragnar some pretty darn nice targets. And we still have the Shield Block, Shield Slam to answer the Ancient of Lore. So, this could start to really turn around here.
Yeah, this is, I think, exactly the kind of turn he needed, was to try to leverage Ragnaros to really get the job done here.
Yeah, and I mean, the Ancient of Lore really does look like the best play here. He could draw Wild Growth first and see what happens with the Wild Growth. Maybe going to do that.
Could just be 2 5-drops.
It could be, yeah. Either way, the Shield Block, Shield Slam, I think, is going to get some nice value here unless the Lothab gets dropped. And, the way he's mousing over there, yeah, it's going to be the card draw. Almost guaranteed, it's looking like. Lothab probably would work out best for him, considering his hand, but he doesn't know what his opponent's hand is. And this is something that D2 really needed to get done. Like you said, it's like he needed this kind of a swing turn. He needed to get some sort of a turnaround here. Chakki really thinking this through. And wow, is going to go for the double 5-drop, which is really going to be his best chance here. And he's just going to go face. He's just going to threaten the combo. And this is rough now, man.
Alex Straza gets picked up, but he's facing down so much damage.
But what else do you do? I don't think you armor up and pass.
I don't think so either.
I think you Alex Straza his face and you say, "Let's rumble." Oh, he's gonna shield block, man.
Wow, can you imagine if this Ragnaros doesn't hit one of these minions?
It's got to hit a Lothab.
D2 needs it to hit one of these minions right now.
Oh my God!
It goes straight for Chakki's face.
Oh no, that is such bad luck, man. 1 in 4 chance. That is horrible.
Wow.
And now all the armor is going to get shredded. Like, he's not going to be able to use his shield slam. This is just brutal. And if he draws into Savage Roar here, let's see.
Do 20 points of damage to Savage Roar.
He still has potential for the combo. He could still, he has the Innervate, so now he doesn't have potential since he drew a second Innervate, but. See what the draw is here. Harrison Jones.
picked up. Ancient Lore is going to draw 2 more cards. Shady Next Realm has certainly got to be one of your better draws at this point.
Yep.
And he picks
Savage
up Savage
Roar.
Roar.
Oh, do you intervene the Savage Roar?
20 points of damage on your opponent's face. Gosh, I don't know.
Time waits for no one.
Oh, he's just going to trade, looks like.
I mean, it looks like if he trades, he's got a pretty significant control of this game.
Yeah.
But he's going to go for face anyway and forego that, so...
I mean, when you're up 2 games, this is a chance that you can take.
Yeah.
And I like this.
Wow, what on earth does D2 do
And the fact
now?
that he didn't kill a minion last turn was actually just so brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't have anything good. It's like, it's got to be like a shield slam to execute on something.
Oh, gosh.
It's a 2 damage, so he takes out like the Lothep or something. What just a rough turn.
Wow, he needs this Ragnaros to hit a minion right now.
I mean, it's a 75% chance. He just lost the last one. Are you kidding?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Everything going wrong for D2 in this series, and Chakki is going to take it 3-0 with Druid.
Wow.
Wow, that is just, that's unbelievable.
And he had the Alex Straza next turn. You know, he had the way to recover next turn. If he took out one of those minions, perhaps could have been able to claw his way back into that game.
Do you think he should have been playing Alex Straza earlier than that then?
I don't really think he had much of a turn. I mean, he could have Alex Straza's his opponent's face that one turn earlier, but he doesn't know if his opponent has the combo or not.
Sure.
He's already down 2 games. It's like, do you really want to lose on that play? It's just such hard choices for D2. And
Bummer
like you
about
said,
that Rag
man.
working against him though.
Yeah, the Rag really screwed him, man.
I mean, it's just,
The odds of Rag, especially it's like Rag hits a face or it hits a minion. You always want to hit a minion, like in this case, but it hits
Yeah.
face twice in a row.
Yeah, and there
which
was
is
3
very
minions down.
surprising.
It's not even like it was
The
a 50-50.
percentage
yeah.
was really low there to hit
Yeah.
face, and it hit it.
it's just Hearthstone, man.
All right, well that leaves Chakki to take on Backspace.
Yep. So, I mean, day 1, going to be getting wrapped up here. Went through 8 series. Unfortunately, one of those was canceled, but still, 8 series of games all the way through here. Definitely, I don't think what many people would have predicted. Seeing 6-0 already out, seeing the two local qualifiers in the quarterfinals,
I know,
seeing
above all
Talento
those
out,
others.
Alchemixed out. There's so many of these upset games and stuff. So pretty insane stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely some exciting series, and I can't wait for tomorrow.